All right, gentlemen. So this week we're going to talk about the budget. This is going to be presented to you by me, Anthony Fowler. And if you want any additional information or to leave comments about what you see here, you can go to theblacksmith.me. So this week I want to discuss budget. I know that a lot of us aren't, balling out of control with tons and tons of money to spend on whatever it is we want to spend it on, and just a lot of disposable income we could just throw at our clothing and our wardrobe. So as a result, I wanted to talk about some of the costs you can expect on the low end for different items that are in the basics that we talked about last week. And I also want to discuss alterations and how much you should expect to pay for alterations to those items. So, the first thing that we're going to go over is going to be the suit. And on that note, be sure to check out my course that covers the 8 checkpoints to proper suit wear to find out how your suit is supposed to fit you so that you can get it altered. So for a suit, the cost is probably going to be about $200 or more. Now, you might be able to find suits that are cheaper than that. That's possible. But the cheapest that I've seen on average is about $200. And then for alterations, it'd be about $50 for more or more. That could be as simple as hemming the pants, which is a little bit cheaper, to bringing the jacket in, which costs some more money. So those are what you can expect in terms of alterations. Just be prepared for that investment. The good thing about it is once you have that suit altered and tailored to your dimensions, it's going to look like $1,000,000 every time you put it on. In addition to that, unless you're going through a lot in terms of losing or gaining weight, in terms of either muscle mass or fat or whatever the case may be, you're not really going to have to worry about getting that suit altered again. One note about getting a cheap suit is you kind of get what you pay for. So you kind of want to strike the balance between affordability and durability. You don't want to buy a suit that's so affordable that it's going to fall apart. But of course, that doesn't mean you need to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on a suit. So just pay attention to that. In terms of jeans, cost is going to be about $50. I recommend Levi jeans simply because they're not that expensive. They're durable. It's a brand name that's known, and you can get them easily altered, and they kind of, you can live in them almost, So it's a really good brand of jeans. And I would recommend that. Cost is going to be about $50. And that's a good cost for jeans. And then for alterations, it'll be about $10 to, I would say, about $25 if you have to have like the waist and that things of that nature taken in. $10 is gonna hem the bottom of the jeans, so if they're a little bit longer, which I kind of recommend you buy them a little bit longer and have them hemmed to your height. So cost for that's gonna be about $10. $25 is if you have to have like the waist taken in or something like that. Try to get the jeans to fit as well as possible when you buy them, so you don't have to do that much alteration to them. Shirts. So you want to make sure that your shirt fits in the collar, across the shoulders, making sure that the shoulder seam is where it needs to be, and make sure that the sleeve length is good. The sleeve length can be altered, but it's kind of costly, and it's a shirt, so I don't know how much I would put into having the sleeves altered on a shirt. That's kind of different than a jacket because a jacket's more durable. But with that being said, the only thing you should be having altered with that shirt should be like bringing the waist in. So try to make sure that those areas that are either impossible to alter or incredibly expensive to alter are good to go. So make sure it fits you, like I said, in the neck, on the shoulders, sleeve length on the shoulder seam, and then you also want to try to make sure it fits you across the chest. So all you really have to have altered would be the waist. And again, alterations for that you can expect $10 to $20. A $30 shirt is probably going to be a good shirt, very durable shirt. But at the same time, it's not going to be super expensive. And you can wear it a lot of different ways, so it kind of makes up for the cost. Chinos, similar to jeans. Cost is going to be between $30 and $50. Stores like H&M and Zara and things of that nature will have jeans, or chinos, that are going to be a little more affordable, but then they'll also have those same types of pants that are going to be a little more expensive. I would recommend between $30 and $50, and it's not hard to find chinos or khakis because they're quite similar to chinos. I recommend a flat front on your pants because it just looks better, it looks cleaner. And then alterations are very similar to jeans, about $10 if you're going to have the bottom of the pants hemmed to your height, which I recommend, or $25 if you have to have, again, the waist or something like that altered. T-shirt. $10 to $15. I will not go over $15 on a t-shirt. I feel like that's borderline absurd. So it's a t-shirt, and while you'll wear it casually as an outer garment, it doesn't mean that you need to spend ridiculous amounts of money on it. Trust me, I've been there when I was young and had disposable income. I regret the fact that I spent a large amount of money on t-shirts. Don't do it. $10 to $15. If you have to alter the t-shirt, you shouldn't have bought it. So your goal is to make sure that when you put the shirt on, and we talked about fit last week, that it fits you the way you want it to fit you. And the way you should want it to fit you is shoulder seams on your natural shoulder, and then of course the sleeves laying flat as possible on your arm, or at least as parallel to the ground as you can get it on your arm, and making sure that the collar fits your neck. So you might have to wear different and try on different types of t-shirts from different brand names till you find the one that fits you perfectly. Polo, $15 to $25 for a polo. That's about how much I recommend, and the same fit point as the t-shirt. Shoulder seams, arm sleeves, make sure the collar fits you, and then you shouldn't have to have it altered in the trunk. You want to try to find a polo that fits you in the trunk, in the waist area, so you don't have a large billowing amount of fabric down in here. So that's what you want to look for. Blazer. So this is going to be similar to some of the alterations you would have done to the suit. So with the blazer, again, cost $70 or more is about right. You can normally find blazers for about $70 at some of the places that sell more affordable clothing, and customarily the durability is pretty good. Alterations is going to be $25 or more, and that's going to be stuff like sleeve length or bringing in the waist if you have to. So, shoes. So you want to go for a good pair of dress shoes. $80 or more. $80 is that's a pretty good deal if you find them for $80. The reason that I don't have too much of an issue with you spending a little bit more on shoes, not an absurd amount, but a little bit more on shoes, is because they're going to last. Like you can, if your feet don't grow, which they normally don't, unless you gain an obscene amount of weight, you're going to be able to wear those same shoes for years to come, especially if you take care of them. So about $80 on the low end for shoes. Don't be afraid to pay a little bit more, because again, you're going to get wear out of them as long as you actually wear those shoes. Sneakers. I think Converse All-Stars, I've seen them for around $50, somewhere in the ballpark of that, maybe a little bit more if you're talking about a brand that, or not a brand, but a design that they collaborated with another famous designer to make. It might be a little more expensive, of course, in that scenario, but customarily around $50, and of course, no alterations on those. Tie. So $20 to $30 for a necktie. You can probably find them cheaper in certain areas, but you just want to make sure that it's a necktie that's going to last, because it should last. It's a necktie. So you shouldn't be spending a ridiculous amount, and it shouldn't really, be falling apart either. So that's about how much you're wanting to spend on a necktie. And that, again, that might be expensive. You may be able to find them cheaper than that. And then last, the Timex Weekender. Now, I recommend this watch because it's an affordable watch, but you will get compliments on it. It's a nice watch for how much that it costs. Of course, it can go upwards. It can go more than $40 because they have collaborated with different designers to make, a Timex Weekender watch for, whomever that designer is that wanted to design their own type. So you can find them more expensive, but it's a nice watch, and it goes with a suit that you'll put on. It goes with casual clothes. It goes with pretty much anything. So, no, I'm not getting any proceeds from Timex, but I do believe that this is an awesome watch. I've owned one and got compliments on it the whole time and ready to buy a new one. So, that's a good watch. So, those are kind of the things that you want to pay attention to in terms of budget. That's kind of how you can stay in your budget. Those are just some recommendations. I highly recommend them. In my experience, I have had to, having 3 kids and of course being married and being in the military, I don't have a ridiculous amount of disposable income. So I've had to make sure that whatever it was that I chose to put on my back, whatever it was that I chose to wear, wasn't absurdly priced. And so those are some of the things that I've learned, and some of the price points that I have seen that are acceptable when it comes to purchasing style on a budget.